Alrighty, hello, welcome back to another episode of The Witness. I am actually doing a post-commentary on this episode simply because, when I went to record this episode initially, I had an issue at the end. It was an unexpected issue. DX story kind of locked up on me. Did not finish off of the, file saving, so I tried fixing it. The video is fine, but the audio became all derpy and whatnot. My apologies for that. And by the way, the
Up
person I
there,
just
you go
had
around
clicked
every
on
hour and a
talks
half,
for frickin'
time
ever.
after time after time.
Um,
You wake up usually
I'll be
in
quiet
the
for the most part
mornings,
during this, but
and just the way
yeah.
that the
So
track
essentially,
of your
while she was
orbits
talking,
go,
I'm just
you
looking
wake up
around,
over the
noticing
Mideast,
some environmental
over North
puzzles and
Africa.
whatnot.
As you eat
And
breakfast,
what have you. There's
you
not really
look
much
out
else
the
for me
window
to
as
say,
you're going
to be
past,
honest.
and there's the Mediterranean area, and Greece, and Rome, and North Africa, and the Sinai, the whole area.
You realize
And
that
you
one glance.
realize that in one
One glance.
that what you're seeing is what was the whole history of man for
Cradle.
years. The cradle of
I actually
civilization.
can't hear the audio right now.
And you
I do
go
have
around
it
down across North
muted
Africa
on my
and
end, so I'm
out
just kind of
over the
watching the
Indian
video
Ocean
and talking
and look
as
up
it
at that
goes.
great subcontinent of India, pointed down toward you as you go past it. And Ceylon off to the side, Burma,
I'm really having
Southeast
issues with that
Asia,
one.
out over the Philippines, and up across that monstrous Pacific Ocean. Vast body of water. You've never realized how big that is before. And you finally come up across the coast of California and look for those friendly things. Los Angeles and Phoenix and on across El Paso. And there's Houston. There's home. And you look, and sure enough, there's the Astrodome. And you identify with that, you know? It's an attachment. And down across New Orleans, and then looking down to the south, and there's the whole peninsula of Florida laid out. And all the hundreds of hours you spent flying across that route, down in the atmosphere, all that is friendly again. And you go out across the Atlantic Ocean and back across Africa. And you do it again, and again, and again. And that identity, that you identify with Houston, and then you identify with Los Angeles, and Phoenix, and New Orleans, and everything. And the next thing you recognize in yourself is you're identifying with North Africa. You look forward to
I really
that.
wish she was done
You
talking at this
anticipate
point,
it.
by the way.
And
I
there
really
it
do.
is. That whole
She,
process begins to shift of what it is
She
you
is
identify
vastly
with.
annoying at this point.
When you go around it in an hour and a half, you begin to recognize
Oh, and then
that your
she's not done
identity
yet.
is with that
She's
whole
not done
thing.
for another, like,
And that makes a change.
3 minutes of
You
talking.
look down there, and you can't imagine how many borders and boundaries.
But yeah,
you
the box, by the way,
again
that is
and
for the
again.
lasers, actually.
And you don't even
Discovered
see
that
it.
out later on.
At that
I
wake-up
also mentioned
scene,
it in this
the
episode.
Mid-East,
There's some
you know
locks
there
on the
are
left
hundreds
there.
of people
We've seen
killing
that
each
kind
other
of
over
technology
some imaginary
before.
line that you
All
can't
this to
see.
get in. Lasers are the one
From where you
responsible for
see it,
unlocking it.
The thing is a
Did
whole,
this floor thing, though.
and it's so beautiful.
Actually wasn't too
And you
difficult
wish
to
you could
solve.
take one
It was a
from
bit
each
weird,
side
though.
in hand and
Bit
say, Look at it
odd
from this perspective.
in its shape.
Look at that. What's important?
But eventually I get them.
And so a little later on, your friend, again those same neighbors, another astronaut, the person next to you goes out to the moon. And now he looks back and sees the Earth not as something big where he can see the beautiful details, but he sees the Earth as a small thing out there. And now that contrast between that bright blue and white Christmas tree ornament and that black sky, that infinite universe, really comes through. The size of it, the significance.
All the meanwhile,
it becomes both things.
she's still talking.
It becomes so small and so fragile, and such a precious little spot in that universe that you can block it out with your thumb. And you realize that on that small spot, that little blue and white thing is everything that means anything to you. All of history and music and poetry and art and war and death and birth and love, tears, joy,
All of it is on that
games,
little spot out
all
there.
of it
that
is
you can
on
cover
that
with your
little
thumb.
spot out there that you can cover with your thumb. And you realize that that perspective, that you've changed, that there's something new there. That relationship is no longer what it was. And then you look back on the time when you were outside
Wondering
on
she'll
that
be done
EVA,
anytime soon? The
and
answer
those
to that
few
question
moments that you
is
had the
no. No, she
time
will not
because
be.
the camera malfunctioned, that you had the time to think about what was happening. And you recall staring out there at the spectacle that went before your eyes.
Though, to be honest, I really wish she would be
Because
done.
now,
But she is
you're no
not.
longer
So,
inside something with a window
yeah,
looking
there's
out
that.
at a picture.
I
But now you're out there.
might actually be
And
looking
what
at
you've got around
the
your head is a goldfish bowl.
window I'm
And
using
there are no
to
limits
record the
here.
audio from.
There are no
I'm not
frames.
using Audacity or
There are
anything
no
like that
boundaries.
to
You're really out
do
there,
the
over it,
magicalness.
floating, going 25,000 miles per hour.
I'm actually running the
ripping
windows
through
again.
space, a
And I actually
vacuum,
have it
and there's not a
running right now while
sound.
I'm recording essentially the main
There's a
menu.
silence, the depth of which you've never experienced before. And that silence
I really do wish
contrasts
he had
so
stopped talking at
markedly
this point,
with the scenery
because like
and the
I have
speed
some
with
new
which
thoughts
you
and
know you're
ideas on what I
going.
wanted to say for this
That
puzzle, and just
contrast,
never could.
the mix of those two
Never
things
could.
really comes
Never
through.
could.
And you think about what you're experiencing and why.
Is she done yet? No.
Do you
Got
deserve
about another
this?
minute.
This fantastic experience? Have you earned this from
Ish,
someone?
maybe.
Are you separated out to be touched by God to have some special experience here that other men cannot have? You know the answer to that is no.
We all know
There's
that the
nothing
answer
that
to
you've
that is
done
no.
that deserves that earned that. It's not a special thing for you. You know very well at that moment, and it comes through to you so powerfully
Sensing
that you're
element
the
for
sensing
man.
element
Such
for
a
man.
weird comment.
You look
Like,
down
of
and
all
see
the phrases
surface
I
of
can
that
think of
globe
to
that
ever
you've
have
lived
said,
on
that
all
is
this
not one
time,
of them.
And you know all those people down there. They are like you. They are you.
Oh, by the
And
way, this
somehow
last
you represent
last lock,
them
I
when
actually
you're
got pretty
up there.
quick. As you can see here.
A sensing element. That
Got
point
some issues with
out
the mouse,
on the
but
end. And that's a humbling
still
feeling.
to get it pretty fast.
It's a feeling
Take
that
me long.
says you have a responsibility. It's not for yourself. The eye
She
that
should
doesn't
almost
see
be done here.
does not do justice to the body. That's why it's there. That's why you're out there.
And if you're wondering, yes, I
And
did talk about
somehow
this
you
much over
recognize that
her
you're a
in
piece
the
of this
original recording as
total
well.
life. You're out on that forefront, and you
I
have
was
to bring
more
that back somehow. And that becomes a rather special responsibility.
moaning about how
It
long
tells
she's
you
been
something about
talking
your
for,
relationship
because it
with
took
this
up like
thing
a
we call
whole
life. And when you come
7-8 minutes
there's
of
a difference in
talking
that world
on her
now.
part.
There's a
Like,
difference
it
in that
was,
relationship
it's,
between you
this
and
is
that
way too
planet,
long of an audio log.
and you and all those other forms of life on that
Like
planet.
half the episode,
Because
no,
you've had
but,
that
well,
kind of
okay, I guess not half the
experience.
episode, but
It's a
good
difference.
portion, a little
And
less
it's
than a
so
third
precious.
of the episode is
And all
dedicated
through
to
this,
this
I've used the
one
word you
particular
because
audio log, and it's just
it's
kind of
not
weird.
me. It's not Dave Scott. It's not Dick Gordon, Pete Conrad, John Glenn. It's you. It's us. It's we. It's life.
Her face, by the way, is
had that
weird.
experience. And it's not just my problem to integrate.
I couldn't
It's
tell if
not
he was
my
meant to be
challenge
a
to
holy
integrate,
guy
my
or not,
joy to
you know, a
integrate.
priest or something.
It's yours. It's everybody's. Russell Schweikart, 1975.
Is she done talking, finally? Oh, she is. Think. Yeah? Yeah, okay, so after she had finished talking, finally, after 7 minutes, 7, 8 minutes, I actually kind of briefly talked about the whole environmental puzzles there, and that one there, not being too difficult, but interesting nonetheless. And I decided not to actually go down there, because I felt like that was the end of the game down there. And chose not to actually end off the game. And I always have issues finding the damn exit off of this mountaintop. I have no idea why. Looking at clouds, looking at the reflections around, trying to find essentially more and more environmental puzzles that could exist in the world. It takes some time. It does indeed take some time, but I do notice this opening down here as we are leaving, and the person up there, kind of, but I don't think I actually made a comment about the person up there. Yeah, down here, there is a doorway with a fairly decent puzzle on it. Uses the whole reflection bit. It takes me a moment to figure out. I thought I had it the first time, and then I realized I derped on it. Yeah, that's when I just verified that there is indeed a mirror image of it on there. I had thought so. Like the first answer I tried, that's why I did it that way. But when it said it wasn't valid, I figured I had done something wrong. I think I'm trying to figure out a way to get that middle one right now. Yeah, I think we're trying to figure out a way to get the yellow one that's more in the middle right now. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, I ended up getting it. It was a fairly easy puzzle. How long is this episode, by the way? I think like 30-something minutes, maybe? I don't know. It's way too long of an episode, generally what happens to me. But yeah, I found one of these. We already found where these are or meant to go, but I took a screenshot of it. And simply moved on, tried looking around, though, to see if I could find any environmental puzzles. And I couldn't. I couldn't find anything anywhere. I'm actually forgetting where I head off now next. Where do I go to next? Is it down by the swamp? I don't think I go down by the swamp yet. Maybe I do. I guess we'll just watch here and see where the hell I go. Verified I did that one. Again. I think I've checked that one like 5-6 times. Oh no, no, okay. I had seen this the circle at the very top up there. That's right. I was coming down to see if I could figure out exactly where I had to be for this one here, and I more or less found it. I just had to find the right angle, which it took a moment, but as you can see, I got it. It wasn't that difficult. By the way, my apologies about if the audio is a bit off sync with what the video is looking at. I will try to do my best to line it up perfectly, but with post commentary, it's kind of hard to do that, to line it up perfectly in all these sections. And what the hell was I doing here? I don't know what the hell I was doing there. But yeah, it's kind of hard to line up commentary perfectly. I can always be like a half a second off or something. And oh, I did notice this behind here. I have no idea where this is, but it looks like it's part of the mountain. So when we head down, we'll have to be on the lookout for some sort of door that leads out this way. But it's a very interesting spot to have found, especially considering it's like really hidden compared to everything else of the game. But yeah, anyway, for the audio bits, if it is a bit off-timed, my apologies for that. But oh, yeah, I'm looking at these things again because like they are way too circular for me to have not noticed at this point, and I keep noticing them, and I just can't figure out exactly what they do, where they go, why they exist, and why they're circular. I do eventually find out why and what they're for, but I'll leave that for the actual appropriate episode that happens. That actually happens in. What am I went over to the monastery for what again? I don't recall. We did stop into the town here though, very briefly. And I noticed this bridge, and that there is an environmental puzzle, but I couldn't find the right angle for this thing. Like, it just does not exist from down here. And you can kind of tell that, like, the circle was there, it's just not that well-rounded, so I might have to do it from the tower that's right there. The gray one, though, I was looking at briefly. Yeah, this is our first time in this town, and we're kind of taking a look. We haven't really done anything here before, so it's our first time looking at everything. I know we've walked by here a few times here and there, but that's about it. I think I do this one in the next puzzle. This one was actually kind of confusing. I had to take a minute to figure it out. I kept trying to put the edges against the wall, and it just wasn't working for me. Because if I did that, I would have to. I would essentially have like that what happens up there in the top left and left those two dots alone. Or if I went around the edges, I would have a couple dots inside the shape that I were left alone. This one took me a moment to figure out. The one afterwards, though, did not actually take me that long. It was actually fairly simple. The next one, especially once you find a solution for this one, the next one was actually pretty quick and easy. I do eventually start thinking outside the box, though, and it's like, okay, excuse me, how do I put the shape in the middle? And that is my question. How do I put the shape in the middle? Well, the answer is, I don't think I did, actually. I'm trying to remember what exactly I did. Yeah, I did. I ended up doing it that way. Yeah. Okay, so this next puzzle has the Tetris piece and the 1. I immediately went for that design because, well, I had already looked at that as being an option accidentally on the previous puzzle, even though it was not a valid one. This one, though, this one kind of caught me off guard. I don't know how exactly I need to put those together in order to get the shape. Like, I know I can do the 2x3 there with those particular shapes, but then I can't do the inner dots on that. So, there's no way for me to do it that way, right? Well, I kind of have an idea here with this, like, a sawtooth pattern, kind of similar to what I just did on the previous one. Like, I'm trying to add an extra tooth on it, more or less. But it just doesn't work, because I could do one, like I had before, but I would need to group them both into the shape, and I'm not figuring out a solution to that problem at all. I do end up deciding to leave the town for the moment, though. I think I'm going off to the... Oh, no, I don't leave yet. Yeah, I come up here. I actually found out where the desert laser is going. Yeah, it comes over to here. I notice this panel on the ground and this panel thing up there, and apparently this thing's on. Apparently this panel rotates, according to that device. And something very interesting happens with this laser that you'll see here in a second. Excuse me for the coughing. Yeah, did you notice that? As the laser was passing through, the cloud changed color. I caught that. I got really confused. I had apparently the cloud turns white. I did find out eventually what that was for. I even commented in the original, like, I'm gonna leave it there. We got the at least 7 that we need to the mountain, and I had talked about why I knew it was 7. Yeah, so I left it on the cloud for now. I know what it was for now. Much later, actually, I'm recording this audio like 6 episodes ahead, so I have done quite a bit of recording, and then noticed the audio for this episode was wrong. But yeah, I came down here, opened up this thing. This thing was actually not too difficult. I did figure it out fairly quickly. I feel like, anyway. Let's see, I ended up going to the right, yeah, then up, yeah, okay. Yeah, I found this really easy. I don't know, I don't know. Also found another triangle puzzle in here, and this is where I started questioning why these work. Like, why does this puzzle work? Like, I eventually come up with a few solutions that work, but why? I don't know. I do know now, roughly. I have a working theory, but I'm talking about, okay, well, it's a triangle, it's with 3 sides, you know, what do the shapes mean? They're arrows, etc. They're pointing in a certain direction. Do I have to always go in that direction? No, maybe, I don't know. I just kind of start randomly guessing on what the answer could be. I did go with the 6-side thing idea, because, you know, triangles have 3 sides, therefore, since there's 2 of them, I need a 6-sided shape. So we get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 7 lines, actually. So, 8 if you count the broken line, that's actually not part of the shape myself. So I count that, counted the head shape as well. get a little confused because that's what, two, four, that's 5 lines instead of the 6, so it was either one above or one below what the necessary number of lines were with my working theory of it being six sides to the shape. So yeah, and then I'm like, okay, why is that wrong? Because I was like, what? There was 4, I think, and then I think I tried doing this, which made it an odd number of lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's 7 as well. But then, like, it's like, okay, why did that fail? Why did that 7-sided shape fail, even though the other one didn't? Um, I started testing some other patterns. I eventually go back to the ones that work and try to compare them. Like, what exactly do they have in common? Um, and I think I'm way ahead of myself right now in the video, actually, because I have noticed that I'm not even there yet. So yeah, like I come back to the solutions now that actually worked, and I'm trying to determine what exactly do they have in common. What they have in common is actually the 2 lines that are above and below those triangle blocks right there. Um, so you can see, like, that's the only thing that really changes, or it doesn't change throughout the entire thing of me trying to figure this out. It does help in giving me a working theory that each triangle is meant to give how many sides of the box that a line needs to travel through. So it's a working theory at this point on that, and I'd have to confirm it. And since that door opened up, and I did notice this entryway into the wall, I did come down here, and there wasn't anything down here at the moment. So locked door, nothing I could really do down here. What was I saying? I derped up on what I was saying. Um, yeah, I actually don't remember where I was going off to next. Oh, right. Yeah, that door opened up on that container, and I noted, I remember trying to do this before, this environmental puzzle before, and I just couldn't. So I was trying to figure out if there was an angle around here for this thing, and I just couldn't come up with one. I mean, you can see I started it. I tried the reflection to see if that would work. It unfortunately didn't. So there's only one copy of that, it seems. But my question is, where is this angle that I needed? I don't know. I'm trying to find it as best as possible. One thing we haven't done in this game is take the boat a lot. So I mean, this could be something that's boat related. I don't entirely know. But there are quite a few things in this game that we haven't not done from a boat. So we might have to look at that in some future episode. I did notice this puzzle thing over here, and I swear we had done this one before. Like, I immediately went to the other side and went for the palm trees over there. Um, there wasn't really no hesitation. Like, I swear we had done this one before, but I realize now why I forgot about the not done this one is because the other one that we did was over by the desert area. And at the time of the recording this episode initially, it had been about a month, about maybe 20 days actually. 20 to 30 days, let's put it in that range, since I had last recorded anything for The Witness. So there was a long gap of time between this episode and the previous episode where I didn't play because I had recorded so much and I was so far ahead on recordings. The shadow-based thing came around as where I could to hopefully find out where the rest of the shape was. Had a little bit of trouble figuring it out. Turned out this green vine is what I was looking for. That's actually the shape that I needed, but I made an assumption on it, and I figured the exit was more on the top left, and my brain didn't really register that, hey, what you looked at was wrong. So I went down there, did it, and had to go back up there and noticed a extra loop that was there. So it took me a moment to solve it, but I eventually did. And then finally, I came up here to this thing. I have no idea what the hell this is. I really don't. Like, I just kind of walked away from it. It kind of reminded me of the windmill, but I have no idea. I have no idea what the hell it is. We haven't even gone to the windmill yet at this point, actually. Have we? No, no, we haven't, actually. We will be heading over to the windmill here in a moment, at the end of this episode, more or less. But before we do, while we're in the town, I do notice a bunch of environmental puzzles on the bottom of these platforms. So I ended up doing them all. I think there was 3 or 4 of them here. I just did one. Yeah, I was kind of looking around, trying to see where things could line up. I had a little bit of trouble lining this one up perfectly. I should got it though. Yeah, so that's number 2 that I just did. Got this one here. And I think I was looking at for something on that one, but I couldn't. Oh wait, yeah, okay, I eventually did. I don't know why I ended up trying to click on that there, but yeah, I ended up finding this. Found out there was a bit of a gap there. Could not actually make the jump. Had to step forward like a smidge. But yeah, kind of looked around, see if there was any more. I couldn't find any. I decided to move on. We went over to the windmill next, maybe? Maybe? I think? Yes? No? Maybe? No, no we didn't. I noticed this black thing here. I noticed this wall open. We went over there. Went up the stairs to check to see if we could actually do another environmental puzzle here. The answer is yes. Yes, we can. We can indeed do the environmental puzzle there. So, yeah, there's that one. Now we actually head on over to the windmill after we check out what's in this building down below, though. Oh yeah, I was a test to see if that is an environmental puzzle, because I noticed the center point was a circle, like most windmills would be. And it is. We actually work on that in the next episode at the beginning of, so look forward to that. Looked at this, I have no idea what the hell it's for. I do remember seeing this door out here that's closed, so I figured that has to be open before we can actually do the one inside. I don't entirely know. But went without it, without doing it. We finally went over to the windmill like I said we were going to see what's going on over here. Fairly simple puzzle in the shape of a windmill. I really don't know what else I was expecting. I got this control panel thing here. I went to the left first. The left actually stops the blades, by the way. It stops the windmill blades from turning. So when I went out there and it did nothing, I got a little confused. Went back in, did it the other way, and found out they are indeed turning. So, yeah, to the right turns on, to the left turns off. Is essentially what that is. We head on downstairs here, beneath the windmill, and we have a couple problems. Well, first off is this door up here, really. This door up here, we do notice the hexagonal thing in there. So, like, we now know where those are meant to go. Why they're giving us the solution. It's in there. This puzzle here wasn't too difficult. I just had to carefully wrap around the whites and get through. So we're in here, which is great. I love that. I'm looking around, seeing what's going on around here. Noticing the lines of the wall and the whatnots. Like, I'm highly expecting there to be environmental puzzles somewhere in here. But we haven't found one yet. So, it's unfortunate. Do I look down eventually? I do look down eventually, I think, right? I do actually find that triangle puzzle I just walked by. I'm pretty sure. But apparently I missed it the first time. I didn't even realize that, but yeah. Here I was talking about, okay, we got these shapes, we need to go around the square completely, and then cut out the center. But that's not doable, right? It's not humanly doable to do that in this puzzle format. Like, I can't just go in and cut out the center bits and then cut out the bottom 2 squares. So I was trying to figure out exactly how to arrange these Tetris pieces to actually be connected, more or less. And I kind of have an idea, like the bottom right now and the top left one was there, the 2x3, and the top right was in the bottom left. The problem with that was I could not connect the other two shapes into the thing, so I eventually gave up on this puzzle. We don't solve it just yet. I did say that we were going to work on it the next episode, but I actually did not. Yeah. Which, fine. It is what it is, more or less, but, I kind of mess around with some other design ideas here. But, yeah, I was talking about, like, okay, if I could actually just trim out those two shapes, it would also work. So instead of having to cut out the center square, it's the squared in half on the outside. There is one problem with this design, though, and it's that bottom right square. I just completely ignored the bottom right square for some reason. Until now, I finally realized the bottom right square was there. I didn't even bother looking at the other one on the other door. I don't know why, but it just didn't really appeal to me, apparently. I do notice that up there. I'm figuring that is an environmental puzzle at some point. I just don't know how to line everything up. Like, I thought there was a bit of a circle on there. On the bottom of the platform right there. The catwalk, I guess you could call it. And I was trying to line it up. Just could not really get it to do anything. So, obviously I'm at the wrong spot for that. But I'm about to end off the episode here. I think I have another minute-ish or so. I ended up heading out. Apparently I didn't do the triangle thing. I don't remember about that. Yeah, I noticed that doorway there. Catwalk above. And then I pretty much end off the episode here, so I hope you guys enjoyed this post-commentary version. Until next time, as always, take it easy.